really good
You
tonight.
should be, man. You're looking
I'm in
good.
the comfort of
You
my I'm in
sound
the
good.
comfort of my home. I feel like this webcam puts the perfect light on me. And
You're upgrading
I
your
was gonna I was
life.
gonna go on the Unscripted Exchanges 2 podcast studio today, but I want to keep our listeners and viewers guessing a little bit.
I want to keep that under wraps for a little bit longer.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm talking about I poured shoot 50, 60 grand in it already.
Holy smokes,
Yeah,
man. This better be the best studio in the entire world.
I'm telling you, bro. Over the top. It's gonna be like latest tech. I'm talking stuff Elon Musk doesn't even know about.
Hey, I believe it, man. You're gonna have to give me the tour along with the rest of the viewers out there.
building, dude, building the suspense. Building the suspense.
I like it. That's
If you
smart.
can't tell, I'm really comfortable sitting in my backyard, man. Just this is good, bro. This is good.
It's nice when you don't have to commute, right?
Yeah, I'm just like I'm sitting back here. I'm listening to the birds chirp, thinking about life. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Dude, why don't you kick us off? Kick us off. Let's go.
Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Unscripted Exchanges. I added a country little twang. I don't know why, but we're happy to be back. As Cole
I'm
mentioned,
vibing. I'm vibing with it.
yes, sir. Cole is remote, but he's going to be in his new and improved studio here soon, which is exciting.
I'm telling you guys, be prepared to be blown. Get your socks blown off. I might be floating. It might be anti gravity. You just don't know. You just don't know.
This is
Hey,
verbatim from Cole. I'm going to outdo studio number one. I said, damn
dude,
it.
studio number two. That's the upgrade, right?
Hey, that's how life works, right? It's all
What
about
do they?
getting better.
Dude, what did Ava say? Ava said something to me the other day. It was like she said, "Oh, we were doing something. We were baking. So I was doing this fire pit. Holy smokes! A huge owl sitting in my backyard. That's dope.
Squirrel.
Sorry,
Ow.
I wish I could show our viewers this owl. I'm
Well,
telling you,
if we could get Jimmy another intern to work under him, maybe we need more of a production
dude. If Jimmy
group.
was out here right now, Jimmy hasn't come to the studio yet. He's late so many times. But anyway, she goes. You know what she says to me? We're building this fire pit, and she goes, "Dad." I was telling her to do something. She goes, just hold on a second, Dad.
Is the owl coming for him? It looks like Cole's about to get picked up and swept away by
It
an owl.
literally it flew down right here. And she goes, Dad, she's like, I've only cracked 3 eggs. I'm not ready to make an omelet yet. And I was like, where did you learn that? Like she said it so casually. I'm like that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, where did you like? She's like, I've cracked 3 eggs. I'm not ready for the omelet yet. And I was like, all right, okay. Like you do you, kid. You do you.
Did
It
she
was pretty
learn
fun.
that on like YouTube or what?
No, she doesn't even watch YouTube. I don't know where she learned it. Sorry, you keep seeing my eyes go over here because I'm like kind of nervous. This is a if I wasn't podcasting right now, I'd be running upstairs to get my whole family.
This could be a $1 billion view
I'm
video.
telling you. Should I show the guests?
It's up to you, man.
Dude, check this. See if you can
Cole's
see
about
it.
to shoot an animal, a wildlife,
You
endangered
might not be
species.
able to
Oh
see it.
my
Hold on.
God, Cole, you just killed that eagle. You're going
Hold
to
on.
jail. Just kidding, folks. Cole wouldn't do such a thing.
Are we seeing it? Do you see it in the tree?
Nah, it's kind of tough to tell. But we can all imagine that it is a
Okay.
huge
Well,
bald eagle or owl.
I'm trying to make this interesting for our guests. I mean for our viewers.
Dude, I'm
And
not vibing with you, so the guests aren't going to be vibing with us. So we tried. You
if they
tried.
could see this, I'm tempted to walk over there, but I don't want to totally derail us. But it's super cool.
That would be funny if you got attacked. Actually,
Should I do it,
no.
or should we move on?
I say we move on, man.
Yeah.
Move on to bigger and better things, just like your studio. You're moving on in life, upgrading, which is awesome. That's what we encourage all of you listeners to do, wherever the heck you are in your life's journey. Yeah, let's dive on into things. I know you and I were shooting the shit over the past few days, and I keep getting targeted with all of these. How do I want to describe this? Like YouTube reels or Instagram videos of like all these young people, and not to be young necessarily, but like all these people making a whole bunch of money online, and it's just got my wheels spinning. Like, you think that there's a lot of people that probably got put in tough positions over the past couple of years with the pandemic and let go. And people are finding all these creative ways to make money. And I kind of can see that with all these people pushing whatever it is they're trying to sell. Hey, watch my e-course. I'll teach you how to, go about drop shipping, $50,000 a month. And it's like, shoot, that's really enticing. If this person can do it, why can't I? So it's just got my brain going a million miles an hour. Like, I'm definitely intrigued. I need to do more research, but kind of wanted to get just some of your initial thoughts. I mean, I'll share some more, but are you familiar with any of those like videos? Do you get targeted with any of that stuff? And what are your thoughts?
I mean, yes. I mean, for being on social media and trying to grow our social media like platform,
Yeah.
I don't, and I think it's more of a time thing. I don't consume a whole lot of content. And the thing is like, there's the two sides of that, which are, and I think it was mostly driven by like, I was getting fed a lot of bad content that was just like kind of making me feel like either like just like disgusted with myself or like judging myself or whatever it was.
What was this
Right.
bad content that you were being shown?
Well, I don't know if it was bad content or it was bad content for me.
Gotcha.
So there's a very fine line with that, right? Anything in life, like it's not bad, it's just bad for me, right? How is it influencing me? So, fast forward to now, like I've tried to streamline my content intake primarily to learn like, hey, like how are we going to make this show better? How are we going to make this more engaging? What is out there, right? If you follow the right accounts, you listen to the right people, then you start to get this like algorithm starts feeding you stuff like you're talking about, right? And what I think is super, super cool that's out there right now, there's a couple things, right? But there's one of them my mom's doing right now that's fulfilled by Amazon. She actually used a company, which should be cool to have on and talk about it. But she did this about 2 years ago.
Is it? There's like a little whispering thing too that your video feed's picking up. I don't know if it's got like a mouse in its claws or something like that, but like
it's crickets and stuff. It's fine.
Yeah.
Dude, people enjoy the outdoorsy. It's the vibe right now. Okay. So that literally the owl just flew like at me, like I was watching it. I thought it was going to come onto the patio. I thought it was coming after me. This would be a good clip, by the way. I mean, I saw the fear of God was in my eyes. Okay, for a minute. But she did this fulfilled by Amazon, right? And what she really did was she got with this company. So there's all these different companies out there that are kind of feeding you, like follow these 12 steps, right? Do this, do that. And she found this company called Passive Scaling. And what Passive Scaling did is basically said, okay, we're going to take an input, right? An investment from you. So whatever it is, right? I'm going to mute myself for 1 second because there's background noise. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, sounds good. Cole is getting his audio adjusted, folks, and I am here in studio number 1 thinking about how I can upgrade it even more since Cole is trying to outdo me.
Well, there's some sirens in the background, but we're going to just roll with it because I don't think our viewers care that much. So they're going to love that I'm outside. Just, dude, we're living the life right now, okay? So she's the Passive Scaling, and what they did, this is really cool, and I'm actually giving a shout out to them. What they do is they take an upfront investment, and they say, okay, let's say it's X. I'm not gonna divulge what she invested, but let's say, for example, $10,000.
Yep, I'm following.
What?
I'm following. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. They take an investment and they say, okay, we're gonna put this money in, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna create stores for you. So you've got this Amazon store, you've got this store, and we're gonna fill it with products. And before that, what they do is they go and find hot products. So they use their algorithms, the knowledge they've got. They find the hottest items. They say, here's the categories we want to hit. And then they start filling the store with inventory. So Amazon, you can't just go, and this is where especially with Amazon, you have to have a certain amount of inventory for them to actually let you sell stuff. So you've actually got to have proof of inventory you can't just go in there and say, hey, I'm going to sell this stuff. You've got to have some proof. You don't have to physically have it, but you have to be able to fulfill orders. So if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to sell flashlights.
Mhm.
You got to be able to fulfill that order, right? So you have to have a minimum of, let's say, 25 flashlights. So if you get 25 orders, because they don't want people on there that are just selling and fake selling stuff or conning the system.
Right.
So what this company does is they take your investment and they start filling your store up with inventory. So they pick these categories that are the hot categories. They inventory fill. So they use the different Amazon warehouses and distribution centers. They fill it up, and then they release your store. And once they release the store, then you're able to start making money. So she's seen over the last 3 months, they were bagging inventory, this stuff. She has seen like a 3,000% increase in sales. I mean, it's like going through the roof where she's making a ton of passive income. And literally all she has to do is get on there and say, I approve this PO if it's over like $2,000. Somebody that spends more than $2,000 in her store, she has to like approve it, or I don't approve it. Or they say, hey, we're running low on this inventory. Will you give us, you need to buy more? It's $1,500. Okay, charge my credit card, $1,500 more dollars. But that is it. Like, she's doing nothing other than approving some POs and like that, and giving some input every now and then, like, oh, I want to carry these kind of products. Like, I know you're not saying they're the hottest right now, but I want to have those. So that's a really cool one that she's doing. And then another one that I know is blowing up.
That's amazing, by the way, that she
super
was able
cool.
to get involved in that. I would definitely love to have her on someday and dive into the details a little bit more. But yeah, I think that's a huge opportunity for a lot of people out there, especially anyone interested in trying to do a little bit of a side hustle, like look into drop shipping. I mean, Cole and I aren't experts, but we definitely know a little bit. His mother, as he just shared, has found some success, and a lot of people have found success in that space. So definitely something to do some more research on if that interests you. Sorry, go ahead. You were going to share something else.
I think along those lines too. It's like anything else. So I want to put an asterisk besides this, that like it is, again, not one of those get rich quick things.
Yeah.
Like, nothing we say on here for our listeners, these ideas or the concepts we've heard about, we're reading about, are get rich quick.
Actually, I've got a get rich quick idea. I'm messing with you. I just wanted to see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, totally.
This is a 12 months. The first 12 months, she didn't make a dime.
Yep.
It's
delayed gratification is what I'm hearing.
So, yes, and I would say another one that I have recently heard of that I don't think I'm not gonna do it, but you know OnlyFans, right?
Yeah, I have, man. I think it's definitely got the, I don't know, a negative connotation with like nudity, but yeah, I'm familiar with it. I've never been on the website, but yeah, I think people, I'm not going to act like I don't know what it is. Yes, people get on, create accounts, and they sell, for the most part, like promiscuous photos. That's my understanding.
Yeah, like a lot of it's that. I don't know enough. I haven't like gotten on there and like done a bunch of research. I mean, because I kind of feel like dirty. Like, I'm like, okay, I know what it is, but like the moment I like download the app or start like, you know what I mean? Like,
right, you feel guilty and like it's against your moral code. But yeah, no, sorry to jump in. I mean, I think, it's definitely interesting, like, to put that business lens on, because yeah, it's one thing if you're using it to sell and push a certain type of content, but I'm pretty sure there are other types of content creators out there that are selling, certain services or products that are different than what, most people think that site is. And it's kind of interesting because it is just another way for some folks to make money, especially for those that aren't going out and selling like nude photos. Like I think a lot of women only show like, and again, I've never been to the website. I would honestly own up to it if I've been, but I'm just hearing some things that I've heard in other podcast shows. So I'm pretty sure some girls have found a winning recipe where they're just posting like the everyday photos that they would post on like Instagram, and they're charging money and they're making money, which, kudos to them that they found a way to make money. I know it might be a little bit of a hot topic or a hot take, but in my opinion, my moral code, like if they're not necessarily showing certain types of content and it's just content that they would normally post on an Instagram account and they're charging people like $3.99, $4.99 and people are willing to pay for it, that's capitalism to me, man. I can't hear you. I
I'm,
lost you.
I'm
Are
gonna,
you
yeah, I know. I was
speechless?
unmuting myself. So I'm gonna say this. As a dad, right, of two daughters, I'm like, I hate it,
You're
right? But then I also
horrified.
like,
Yeah.
but I also am like, you know, the guy that's like, but like I don't even know about Instagram. Like, my daughter's never gonna use it. At the same time, if I was like an Instagram model, right, and I'm getting millions of views of my like, I'd stop posting on Instagram and I'd go to OnlyFans. I would literally, not only that, I'd probably go and like freeze my account and I'd say, and I do one post like if you want to continue to follow me, you can find me on OnlyFans, and that just make people pay, dude. If especially if you got these people that are if you got a big enough following, yeah. I mean, I think I saw a video the other day. It was on Impulsive a while back about like they had this woman on like one of their friends or she's pretty famous.
Summer Rae, probably.
But
Summer Rae, I think I've seen that episode.
well, there's a big influencer. Yeah, and she's like literally talking about how she's making like a couple $100,000 a month, like taking like cleavage shots. I mean,
Yeah.
but our back in the 1900s and 20th century, that might have been like, hey, you gotta wear skirts down to your ankles and make sure you're covered.
But I think what we're both maybe agreeing on, I mean, yes, you have daughters, which you're already like conscious and worried, like, no, I don't want my daughters doing that. But again, if they're just posting like bikini photos, how is that really any different than, posting it on a different platform? But they're just happening to make money, which again, I'm repeating myself, but I think that's like the point that I'm trying to hit home on is like, that's awesome that people are willing to pay for that. But at the same time, who the hell are those people that are paying for that if they're posting the same stuff on like an Instagram account? Which, let me add this, I think Instagram will turn into an OnlyFans type of subscription model where you will get to choose which type of content you want to promote and charge people. So, for example, Cole could be like, hey, I want to post this on my profile, but I'm going to have some type of setting where it's only going to be visible to paid subscribers that follow me. And that's how you can make another form of income. And there could be another toggle where it's like, that's all right, I'll send this out to the world for free. So I think that's coming. Maybe I'm wrong, but hey, we'll run this back in about 12 months and we'll see.
I mean, there's part of me that's thinking like if I could go make money, like taking pictures on my hands or even something like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, sign me up. Like, there's part of me that's like, I kind of want to try it. That sounds a little weird, but there's part of me that's like, dude, go under like some pseudonym and start like selling pictures of my elbows. You never know what people's fetishes
are. And I think
are.
that's the other thing though too. I think they're trying to distance themselves from that negative image of nudity. Like people are trying to sell different types of like e-courses or different types of content. I guess I'll keep it general that way. And they want to go beyond just, OnlyFans is, an account to sell nudity. And I think it's more than that. And again, the business concept behind that is very interesting because what if we see it every day? Instagram poaches from TikTok, TikTok poaches from Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. They all watch one another and they want to mimic what's working well. So point being, I'm wondering when, because I think it's only a matter of when, we'll see, an Instagram or a TikTok roll out something similar where you get to charge a certain subscription to your users or to your followers. So time will tell.
I think you're predicting the future here.
Do you think we'll get any money if we predict that right?
I think we need to coin that and we need to send it out and be like, hey, listen, Musk, we got nothing on us, bro.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
You might be going to space, but we know where Instagram's headed there, boss.
Exactly. We can see the future here, folks. ...
That's dude, I'm telling you. So I have another kind of random thing that I'm gonna throw at you today.
Dive on in, man. Let's do it.
I think it's okay. So this is a show I've been watching. This might really not have any business ties.
First of all, how the heck do you even have time to watch TV shows? Because you are probably the most busy person I know. It's fascinating. You motivate me. I know we've talked about it, but like you've got wife, kids, you're involved in all sorts of extracurriculars. Like you come over here and you work on this startup. Like I'm just amazed how the hell you have time to sit back and
Oh,
relax.
dude, I think it's kind of funny. So okay, I'm gonna share this real quick because you said that. Appreciate it. You're tooting my horn. Love it. Everybody likes that. I was talking to my mom on the way home today, and every now, we don't. I'm very. I mean, with two kids, like I did not realize how busy I was gonna get. We've oversubscribed this fall, which I think a lot of parents can raise their hand and say, "I've been there, done that." Right? I've signed up for too much stuff. Well, raising my hand, been there, done that, oversubscribed. Um, but I was talking with her, and I was like, you know what? What's interesting? You think about motivation. You think about like what you got going on in life and waking up and you see the videos, waking up, chase your dreams, this and that. And I'm like, sometimes it's just a matter of waking up. And this is kind of like the motto I've been going by. It's waking up and diving headfirst into whatever you've got going on that day. I don't even have the time. You might look at me and say, man, how do you do it? You're so motivated, this and that. And this is just, I might put words in your mouth, but some people, from the outside looking in, I know that I put off that persona, right? I'm outgoing, I'm excitable, I'm energetic, but there's not a lot of thought that goes into that. I don't have those days. I don't wake up every day or even 3 times a week going, man, like time to release the inner tiger, right? Like be a monster. I'm like, I got to just get going. I can get moving. I can't slow down. And to me, it's a matter of like, it's a simple phrase that I keep running through my mind. Like, what else would I do? Like, what else would I do? If I have the opportunity to do something that could be beneficial in my life, my life, my wife's life, my children's life, I'd rather do that. And I'd rather oversubscribe myself in relationships and work and activities than sit around going, well, what am I gonna do? Right? What am I gonna do? I'd rather sign myself up and feel a little oversubscribed or overly stressed out, because at the end of the day, I'm not doing things that I don't think are gonna move the ball forward for me. So I'm not, so I guess like I just have been, that phrase has been in my mind. Like, what else would I be doing? What else would I be doing? Yeah, there's plenty of places where you go, oh, I could put more effort into this, put more effort into that. But like, you never know. You also never know till you try. And I just I like to stay busy. I don't like sitting around. Now there are times when I'm like, Cole, you got to slow it down. You got to take a deep breath. You need to whether it's strategize or plan some stuff out or do this or that. So you got to have those times, but I'm finding those times more later at night when I'm able to lay in bed or sit down on my computer, decompress, and then like watch a show. Like I'll lay in bed at 10:30, pick a new show to watch, and I'm like, I'm totally vegging out intentionally. I'm like, I'm not gonna consume content that makes my brain work. I've done that all day. My brain has been firing all cylinders. I'm not gonna do any of that stuff. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna decompress. And so anyways, to that point, I wanted to bring up this show. So appreciate you saying that. This show, Severance. And I don't want to drag this out too long, but this is a super cool show. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's got, I think his name's Adam McKay. He's from Parks and Rec.
Don't ruin it for anyone that hasn't heard. Don't
I'm
share
not.
any
I'm going to give a
spoilers.
little. Well,
Is it like a serious type of genre?
Yeah,
A
it's pretty.
horror film?
It's pretty serious. Not horror. It's
Action, I guess.
no, not
Drama?
action. It's like super slow. I don't even know if drama is the right word. Like it's quirky.
Okay. All right.
Quirky.
All right.
I think quirky would be the right word, and quirky because and I'm not going to give away anything here, but the show is about, it's called Severance, and it's called about a procedure that you can get done called the Severance procedure. And what it does is they put a little implant in your brain, and you wake up in the office, and you don't know who you are, and you don't know what you're supposed to be doing there. And you're basically one individual while you're in the office. And then when you leave the office, you turn into a different individual. It's the same person, two completely different personalities, completely different people, and they don't know who the person is inside the office. The person on the outside has no idea what they do in the office, who they are, how they are, and the person outside the office, inside the office, doesn't know who they are outside the office. Super weird. It's super weird. And one of the underlying themes of it, which is what I think is like super, you could really get in a conversation about this, right? Is that it's the disconnecting. We talked about this a while ago. Everybody constantly is trying to figure out like, how do I disconnect the right way? And so like I think like one of the underlying like messages and themes, which I mean it's pretty clear, is the people that go through this procedure to have this are trying to literally disconnect from the world for 8 hours a day or 9 hours a day. They're trying to spend 8 or 9 of their hours a day not dealing with stuff that they usually deal with in the outside world, and they're also trying to find this balance. So my whole thing is like, it makes you think like, what, like, who would want to do that, and would there ever even be a use for something like that? It's super weird. It's super weird.
No, I mean, I've never seen the show, but it does, or at least it made me think too, hearing the way you describe that. I mean, first off, it sounds like Elon Musk, his brain technology, I forget what the name of the company is coming to life maybe as part of this
Yeah,
show. But yeah, no, I think there's some good and some and bad in it as well. To look at things holistically, as you mentioned, like we all struggle with what is the right amount of work-life balance. I mean, there's no right answer, or there's a right answer, and that right answer pertains, different to each individual. But yeah, it's an interesting concept to say that, you're fully invested in your work. Like there's a work you, and then there's an outside of work you. And I know it's definitely a little bit more than that in the show, but yeah, I think that does actually happen today too, where whether or not we're willing to admit it, we have a work personality, and then we have like a family life and a friend life personality. And I think that's like a proven fact where you've got those typically three different types of personalities. So there's definitely some fact already in this show. I mean, I'm assuming for the most part it's fiction and not fact, because I don't think we can
dude.
get that procedure done just yet, but you never know.
So I'm gonna ask you this: like, what would you be like? Like, that's where my brain goes. At least I'm like, what? So they're called innies and outies, and I'm like, what would Cole like if I was just like, it's super weird. They'll like leave the office and then come back, and they're just like, a whole weekend went by. Like I just stepped in the elevator. Like they don't have a sense of time because they don't sleep because they're in the office. Like that personality is in the office all the time. So it's just super weird. But I'm thinking like, what would, like, if I never shut off the work and I didn't have like any, I didn't know I had family. I didn't have, like, they don't know anything, right? Like what would, and I'm like, dude, I'd be so intense.
Yeah, I
Like
don't.
I,
That's interesting to think about. I mean, do they know that they're getting this procedure done, or
they do that. So the Audi is the one that decided to have the procedure.
gotcha? Yeah, no, I mean, first off, I think the they don't sleep in this show. I know these are all hypotheticals.
Well, no, they don't. They don't know they slept. Like the only reason they know they
Sure.
slept
Yeah,
is because they feel rejuvenated. But like when they're in the office, they don't know they literally don't remember going home.
I think that's kind of
Super
scary to be
weird.
honest, though. Yeah,
What?
I think that's scary to be honest. Like taking that from a literal mindset, like I want to know, I want to remember, okay, Hayden was doing X, Y, and Z for the last 8 hours, and now I'm going to happy hour with friends. Like I don't want to be like, oh, what did I do the last 8 hours and
You
not be able to remember.
gotta.
That's
It's like
that's
such.
weird.
It's weird enough that it got me like it's super slow, but it just got me to think like, I'm like, dude, like what would that be like? Like you basically only have like, I mean, you don't dude, it's just so weird. And I'm just like, dude, well, how would I like, I want like you're thinking like what would I like as I just what would I be like? Like I would I be a totally
Here's a question for you, and go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Hit it.
Finish
No,
up.
you hit it. You probably got a good one.
What would you do? Because I heard you bring up something like, they don't recognize that they slept or whatever, but my mind's going to like, what would you do? What would Cole do if you didn't have to worry about sleep? What would you do with that added extra amount of time?
I'd probably be the president of the world or something like that, if that's even a thing.
Okay. All right.
POTW.
I like
I mean,
that.
I don't
I like
know, dude.
that. Yeah.
I think
Do you have aspirations to be the president someday?
no.
No. Never say never.
I've thought about like, it'd be kind of cool to like run for political office, but like I would be so un PC that
Yeah.
like I wouldn't want to change that about myself. I
Right,
wouldn't
right,
want to,
right, right. It's a
you know,
different beast. Yeah.
that's interesting. You brought up the work personality versus like that is a strong correlation. Think about that. Like we really all do have like a work persona and a outside like. I mean, do your coworkers ever say to you like, "Dude, do you like," or like make comments about how you might be like outside of work and stuff, and you're just like, "Bro, you have no idea. Like you don't know me at all."
So I will say this. I think the more transparent and comfortable you are with the people that you work with, the more that you're going to bring your true self to work as well and not have that quote unquote work personality. But yeah, you're always going to have to some extent that work personality, and I think, again, this is an opinion, it's more so that psychological factor of like wanting to protect yourself and make sure that, you are being PC in the workplace, because when you're out with your buddies and your friends, you're going to talk and act a slightly different way. But again, if you're in a work setting, it's a little bit different. As they say, there's a time and place for everything. And that's just human nature. Like you need to understand that. And if you don't, you're probably not going to find great success, or you're going to get yourself into trouble.
Well, I think part of it too is like, at least for me, it's being when I'm in work mode.
Yep.
Like when I'm in the office or when I'm working, like I'm not gonna everything I talk about is going to be. I mean, I might have those conversations every now and then about like that. Like, oh, this is what I did this weekend, or like, how you doing? Like, and this might be like 5 minutes, but like since I got into work when I first started, I just when I get in that zone, that switch flips, and I don't want to talk about anything else. Like I don't. So I think, but like I think like you're spot on. Like a lot of my coworkers, they know my personality, like inside and outside of work,
Yeah.
but they might not know all of the like a lot of the context behind why I am the way I am, right?
Sure. No
Like
one
the
will.
context is always huge, and your coworkers aren't always going to see the context of why you're so loyal or why you handle things this way or you do that. They're not going to see like, oh, it's hey, I work this hard. I tell you I work this hard because my family, but I truly do, and this is why. This is what I do with my kids. This is what I do with my friends. Like, so it's just an interesting dynamic that Severance. That's a good call out from that Severance movie. I just think for our listeners, like you guys should check it out. Drop some comments. Let us know, like, A, would you get the procedure just to try it out? And B, like, what do you think of the concept of of the disconnecting? Like, is that where we're gonna get to eventually? That's where my head goes too. Is like that's something that you can watch these movies like I, Robot and all these like futuristic movies. I use I, Robot because I love Will Smith, even though Little Slap wasn't great. But like you watch these and you go, they actually aren't that far off. Look at the movies 10 years ago that were futuristic with the cars they were driving. And then look at Tesla's truck. I mean, they weren't that far off of what the future was going to look like. So is this something that we'll have in 10, 15 years? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're onto something right there with that. I think every type of like fiction has some reality to it, and sometimes it does fully come to fruition. It's just a matter of how long it takes. And when there's some really outlandish stuff, like people immediately are like, no, that's ridiculous. And, that's a normal and healthy thought to have. But the thing is, our brains just don't fully fathom like what that could actually be. But, I'm probably going down a rabbit hole here, but 1,000 years from now, there's going to be shit that is just like us will be long gone, but things that we could never in this day and age even fathom that far out in advance, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just interesting to think about things like that. And it's like, yeah, it gets you thinking. I love, movies and shows like that. So I'll definitely have to check that out. And thank you for not spoiling anything.
It makes you want to like be there. Like you've made the comments about living forever.
Yeah.
Like that's against a lot of like I think religion and Christian, but like, and even against like I'm a Christian, but it's against that. But it's also just like dude, I kind of want to be there when we're getting to other planets. Like when we're traveling, like we will eventually, the evolution of mankind will travel to stars. We will get there. I don't know when, could be 2300 BC, I mean AD, but we will get there. I'm like, dude, I kind of want to see that. Like, you
No, I
know,
think you're spot on. I would agree with that. I mean, not to get dark, I think yes, we're going to evolve and go to other planets and galaxies. And again, this could be billions of years, but that either happens or the complete opposite, and we end up just destroying civilization. And hopefully that does not happen.
we start
But
living in caves again.
no, I don't think that. I'm just saying that there could be a point where we end up just, I don't know, somehow causing massive destruction and just destroying our.
Yeah. And I think I'm thinking we wrap up here in a minute, but I want to make one more comment about that because I think you're spot on,
Mm-hmm.
and even more. I cannot. I'm gonna hot take here. Anybody that thinks, oh, I'm not gonna have to worry about it, like screw off. I'm being PC a little bit. We do have to worry about that stuff. Like, we, if we all like, oh well, I'm gonna be dead, so I don't have to worry about that. Like that is so backwards. And like the thing is if enough people think that way, then we will continue to not make strides to move forward, and eventually it will happen. Enough people start thinking something, we all get band together, then we all say screw it. We're really in trouble. So there's my 2 cents on that.
I think we dive into some more of this on another episode. I love conversations like that for sure. I mean, I'll share one last thing too. I think we got to be careful that we don't become lazier than we already are. I know human beings are programmed to be lazy. Like we want the fast, easy way of doing things. That's just how our brains have been wired. And I don't want us to get into a spot where people forget how to critically think and question, well, I read this or I saw this, like what actually makes this true? Or on the flip side, this makes this not true. Where, I feel like there's going to be a lot of situations where people just believe everything that's being pushed to them with technology, which is scary. But anyhow, we can save that for another episode. I'm passing
Dude.
things over to you, man. I'm loving the energy. This was a fun episode. Let's wrap things up. Over to you, man.
Hey guys, thanks once again for tuning in to another episode of Unscripted Exchanges. I hope you got to catch a cool view of that owl. If not,
No, we did not.
I'm really bad at using my webcam. Let's go, Jimmy. When we get the new space completed, it'll be decked out with all the latest and greatest tech. But thank you guys for tuning in. Like, share, follow, drop some comments. Let us know what you think. Check out our website coming up. We're coming live here soon with some merchandise. I know we've been saying that. We've been building momentum. I think we got what 50,000 back orders or something like that.
Yeah,
No,
give or take 10,000
give or
or so.
take.
No, but we want to make sure real quick on that note. We want to make sure that we're providing good quality products, but we definitely will have some merch to rep because we've had a lot of feedback from friends and family that are like, we love your new design. Like we'd love to, rep a t-shirt just to help promote. And again, we really appreciate all those that have tuned on in and shared our stuff. Cole and I are growing by the day. We're learning new stuff. Check out our shorts on YouTube. A lot of good stuff there as well. So yeah, the best is yet to be. Sorry, Cole. Back to you.
No, love it. Rock on, brother. Rock on. Thank you guys.
Thanks.